Hi, how's it going everyone? My name is Henk and welcome back to the channel. Now in this video I'll be doing a review on the fund investment platform Kernel Wealth to see what products they have on offer, fees for their service, what are some of the things to look out for, and whether or not you should be investing with them. Kernel Wealth is one of the newer entries in the online fund management space in New Zealand. They are a passive fund manager, which means that their funds track a particular index. An index is simply a collection of companies pulled together, usually weighted by how big the companies are. So if you have a big company, they usually take up a higher percentage of the index. Some example indexes would be the S&P 500 index or the NZ50 index. Kernel aims to follow the index instead of having an active fund manager trying to buy and sell companies to earn a profit. There's been a never-ending debate about which is better, active or passive fund management. Studies have shown that over a long extended period of time, passive investing tends to come out on top. In addition to that, passive fund management usually charges less fee and have less taxes, which is partly the reason why it tends to outperform active fund management over the long term, since management fees and taxes easily eat into the returns. Currently, Kernel offers 8 different funds that each track a specific index. So the New Zealand 20 fund tracks the largest 20 companies in New Zealand. The New Zealand Commercial Property Fund tracks some of the largest property investors in New Zealand. The NZ Small and Mid-Cap Fund tracks the smaller companies in New Zealand. The Global Dividend Fund tracks big regular dividend payers, companies all over the world. The Global 100 Fund tracks some of the biggest companies in the world, including Apple, Microsoft, Nike, and many others. The Global Infrastructure Fund tracks many businesses relating to infrastructure, providing services such as storage and telecommunications. The newer Kensho Moonshot Fund tracks some of the newer innovations in the technology sector, including robotics and gene therapeutics. The Kensho Electric Vehicle Fund tracks many of the companies that are related to the electric vehicle sector, including Tesla, NIO, and many others. What separates Kernel from other fund managers is that they have a diverse range of funds that is quite different to what many of the other investment platforms in New Zealand have on offer. Now, in particular, I quite like their New Zealand 20, their Global 100, and their new Kensho Innovation Funds. So now let's take a look at some of the returns of their funds. For the New Zealand Top 20 Fund, so it tracks the top 20 companies in New Zealand. So the return that's provided here, the 16.18%, is not the actual return of the fund itself, but the return of the index. And the fund itself has not been around for 10 years. So when you scroll down, you can see what's actually in the fund, as in the companies that are in the fund and the sectors that the fund actually holds. And we can also see the returns of the funds. Now, the returns are not updated daily, so if you want a more up-to-date view of the returns, you can use a portfolio viewer like Sharesight. Now, it's free to sign up, but you can also get more features if you sign up to a monthly account. So I have a promo code link in the description below to get a few months free when you first sign up. So I can look up the Kernel funds on here. So I can look up the New Zealand 20 fund, and I could look for, say, the past 5 years. And it'll give me around a 10% of return for their New Zealand 20 fund. Now let's take a look at the pricing and fees for the Kernel funds. So they have 3 different types of accounts. For their starter account, if your portfolio value is under $1,000, you have no monthly member fee. And your annual investment fee depends on the fund that you have, and it ranges between 0.39% to 0.55%. For an Achiever account, your portfolio value will be between $1,000 and $25,000, and you have the same investment fee for your funds, so it depends on what funds that you have. Again, it's from 0.39% to 0.55%. Now, they also charge a monthly fee for their Achiever account. So it's a $3 monthly member fee. Now, for all of these accounts, they have free transactional fees. Now, if you have over $25,000 in your portfolio, you're eligible to use a premium account, and you'll get a refund of 0.1% of your fund investment fee. And you will be getting that once per month, so your actual fund management fee would be down to 0.29% to 0.45%. And they have the same $3 monthly member fee. The sign-up process is extremely easy for Kernel Wealth, and it took me about 5 minutes. All you need is your passport and or New Zealand driver's license. Now, before you can actually invest, you need to deposit funds into your account with internet banking, which then goes into a custodial account, which can take up to 24 hours to process. Now, once you have money in your account, you can easily buy the funds that you want. You can also set up auto investment at intervals that you like, and by selecting the funds that you would like to invest. And there is a minimum investment amount of $10 per fund. Your fund orders only get processed once per week on Wednesday, which means that if you miss the deadline, you have to wait another week for your order to be processed. This means that you simply cannot time the market if you use Kernel Wealth. Now, from March onwards, they will increase their trading frequency to twice a week on Mondays and Wednesdays. Now, one of the other things to note is that Kernel does not hedge their international funds, which means that your portfolio may be subjected to exchange rate and currency fluctuations. In terms of how safe your money is, your fund is held by a custodian account under New Zealand financial regulation, so even if Kernel goes down, you would still be able to get your funds back. So who exactly is Kernel Wealth good for? So Kernel is good for long-term investors that want a slightly different choice in the range of funds to what is currently on offer by many of the other online fund managers. The downside is you will not be able to time the market because they only carry out their trades a few times a week. Now, that shouldn't be a great concern if you are a long-term investor. They also have a great support team that is very quick with responses if you ever need any help. They are not good for traders that want to get in and out of a fund for short-term profits. They also have a smaller range of funds currently available compared to some of the other fund managers, but they are increasing the number of fund options over time. And that's it for my quick review on Kernel Wealth. Check out some other reviews on different investment platforms if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.